Now they can hear you. Do it now.
Hello.
Atlas is $30. Bradley. Right now though, I'm interviewing my boy Lamp.
Yeah, how's it going on?
Bye, Bradley. um Not using video obviously, so we are using the art done by Shepherd Wolf, who is an amazing artist. I don't know if the other art and stuff made it onto the Dark Side community, but they make a lot of great art about the characters and fan art and stuff like that. So
I'm
uh,
pretty sure she posted the one of Croc and then also the one of Declan.
awesome. Wasn't there one of Logan as well? I think. So,
Oh, the banana. Yeah, the banana
yeah,
vest Logan
yeah.
one.
um, so you play Melvin. Obviously, there's probably a lot of people who don't know what you actually sound like. Um,
Yeah.
this is you, dope. You saw a little bit. So basically what I'm going to do is I got like, I don't know, 10 questions that I'm just going to ask everyone because I think that they're like legit for learning about the community and learning about RP and like how you and all of us can fit in. And then I have some specifically for you. They are much longer because I really want to know some stuff. So yeah. Um,
Good.
but like first off, how do you think the end of the chapter went, or season, I guess, total, for you and Melvin, Magoo? Um, yeah, how did your character end up, basically?
Well, I thought Magoo's ending was perfect. He was killed off by two of his formerly closest friends, uh, Alex and Aiden from the formerly Hooligans, and then part of Kindred. They uh, they definitely knew how to send Magoo off. I'll tell you that. I was
Yeah,
tearing up a little bit at the end there.
yeah, that was insane, but definitely a good ending, I think. Or I mean,
There was
appropriate.
because yeah, Magoo used to look up to Aiden, and he used to see Alex as like an older brother to him.
Hmm.
And then the whole drama of the hooligans splitting and half the company going and making anarchy and then joining up with Kindred. And Magoo stayed loyal to Graves, and Graves put in his head that they were the bad ones. They were the ones that were wrong in doing all that.
Right.
He'd always painted AR as like the big bad. So when they decided to go and like team up with them to go fight the Navy with AR the first time, he was definitely really pissed off about that. But yeah, it basically came full circle because Magoo was definitely very antagonistic to them as they were leaving the company. And I know Alex had wanted Magoo's head for the longest time
Yeah.
because Magoo would talk so much and it would get back to like all the people from Anarchy.
Uh, yeah. The split between the hooligans. Well, so I do have a question about that actually.
Go ahead.
Since we can't talk about Magoo without talking about the hooligans, even though they split, there's like a ton of respect for you and Magoo both in like the hooligans chat and all of that stuff. did you know them when you started Magoo, and did you like expect to be that important and stuff?
So Magoo came about like at probably about a month before the last chapter ended. Before that, I was playing a character named Professor Smiles. He was living on the Raven's Rest Island. He was with Crystal Trident, uh, and they. I didn't do much, to be honest. I sat around the island for the most part and just bullshitted with the people that lived there.
Yeah.
But I eventually ended up killing my character off due to the leader of our company shooting him with a brand new shiny legendary bow and arrow that she just got, and she used the piercing shot. And
Dang.
she liked to shoot people a lot. That was
Yeah.
like one of her hobbies. And Smiles had always like talked down to her about shooting people willy nilly. Because she had actually just killed off, or she had actually just permed one of our other leaders, like not a week before that. Oliver Flowers at the what was it? What was the Rose company?
I don't know.
Golden Rose. They were having a party. Yeah, and she had shot him there, and he permed there.
Dang.
So yeah. So she wasn't planning on actually hitting me because she like flicked her mouse when she did it, but I
Mm-hmm.
took off running and it ran straight into it and it
Dang.
like dead. So I thought that was a fitting end for Smiles to go out that way. I took like a week break, and in that time I was thinking about what I wanted to do next. And I was taking a shower one day and thought up fucking Magoo.
Nice.
So uh, I knew Johnny because Johnny had actually just joined the company not too long before that, and Alice there. So I knew there was going to be role play there if I with Magoo.
Right.
So I sat around on one of the free ports for a couple days, grinded out some blasting powder to make myself an explosive barrel, got myself a ramshackle sloop, and sailed it over there in the middle of the night, and arrived at their port with an explosive barrel ticking.
Great. Of course. Was that
Yeah.
the F1 port, or once they had established an A1?
No, this was before the storm.
Oh, before the
So
storm. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, this
Gotcha.
was the previous chapter.
I see. So you were
Yeah, a lot
there
of
a
the
long time.
a lot of like the main hooligans were there from before the storm because a lot of them came over to join up with Johnny to be part of his crew.
And so did you think when you thought him up in the shower or whatever, did you think he would go a specific way with the people that you knew, or did you have any plan or anything like that?
No, I decided to keep them pretty open just so like there was a lot of room to role play around stuff.
Right.
Uh, Basically, I came up with okay, this guy's gonna be funny looking. He likes explosives. Uh, he was marooned on an island by his previous captain, which he accidentally let off an explosive barrel and sunk there. So that's his reason for being around.
Of course.
And then yeah, that was pretty much it. I honestly, the role play shaped Magoo a lot. I
Right.
wanted him to be antagonistic, but not like an evil way, more of an annoying way.
Hmm. Interesting.
And for the voice, I was just kind of thinking up voices, and I'm like, for some reason, Marvin the Martian popped in my head,
Right.
and I did like my best Marvin the Martian impression, and it turned out more Kermit than that.
Yeah. as soon as you said Marvin, I was like, I don't think that's super Marvin. I mean, kind of a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
that interesting. Do I guess I'll skip that. I think that Hellbound and everybody, especially like we were talking about you earlier when I was talking to Osis. Um, they call Melvin Savant, but I'm pretty sure the full title is like Idiot Savant, right? Like the idea
Yeah.
is that he's sort of dumb and not all together, but in these specific ways, he's really like well versed, I guess. Um, did you like I guess pick his skill set or whatever ahead of time? Obviously the bombs. But did you like plan that out, and like did you worry that maybe you were going too hard into the idiot side or whatever?
So I honestly wanted to make a character that would make people laugh. It was like the basis of it. I wanted people to have some fun around him. And so I went with the idiot trait more or less because you don't really expect it like talking to people. He'll
Yeah.
just sit there and kind of like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Do
And it's really fun to make people like explain out really obvious things. So like Graves will be sitting there and be talking and then say something. I'll be like, "What's that?" And I'll have to sit there, think a second, and then explain to Magoo what the hell it is.
Yeah, that's good. Do you think that's changed like how you are, because you've been doing it clearly for a while. Do you think that's changed how you are like in your life as well? Like do you ever find the voice coming out, or like you messing with people that you know, or any of that stuff?
Ah, I There's a lot of times at work where I accidentally Magoo out.
Yeah.
I'll be talking to someone, I'll accidentally slip. I'll start slipping in the voice or something like that. Or like when I'm talking to people, like he likes to say, "Hello there," and like so like if I'm answering a phone or if I'm like answering a door, I'll start saying like, "Hello," I'll catch myself.
Good. I can't imagine like walking into like Starbucks or whatever and having someone order in front of you like hello there and like do your voice and stuff. That would be so good. Dang it. Um I guess uh I don't think that a lot of us know, the like full story. Even though you were on streams all the time and stuff, were there things like big things that happened to Magoo or that Magoo did, like points in the story after you showed up, I guess?
Um, yeah, there were definitely plenty of those. Like, I don't know if like a lot of people, other than ones that were always around the hooligans, knew that like Magoo and River were like super close. After, because at first it was Magoo and Alex, but after they split, River was there to like kind of comfort them and hang out with them because Magoo used to always hang out with Alex.
Yeah.
So their bonds really grew. They were like brother and sister. And then there was also Whitebeard, who became really close with the two of them and ended up adopting them. He played Whitebeard was Bill Bootstrap or
Oh,
Boots. Yeah,
gotcha. I was like, white beard. I
yeah.
see.
He showed up in our port one night, and he was like, "The name's Bill Bootstrap," and I'm like, "Why do they call?" He was like, He's like, oh, that's my. He's like, I go by many titles though. I also go by Whitebeard or Graybeard. No, Blackbeard. Yeah, he said Blackbeard. And Magoo was like, but your beard's white. And so he started calling him Whitebeard ever since then, and
Gotcha.
it just stuck with everyone. But yeah, the relationships between Magoo, River, and Whitebeard were big points. There was also Magoo had a really long talk with Aiden Cross before he had left the company. Like we were sitting, oh god, we were sitting in one of the mortar towers back on the A1 island for probably about almost 2 hours, to the point where the only reason the conversation ended was because I died of hunger.
Dang.
It was a really good conversation. It had both of us tearing up. It was some really good art.
Gotcha. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, have you played RP in other places, or is this? I mean, you must have played in other places and done other things before this, right?
So back in high school, I did a bit of D&D with some friends, but it wasn't too like RP heavy. And but other than that, I played on the first time I did some like actual like online RPing in games was Katie's Purple RP server for Conan. I played on that for a few months, but then after that, it was Atlas.
Yeah. Interesting. It's weird that so many people have the same sort of like I mean not origin story as us cuz we're just people, but like like I did a little bit of D&D. Oh, I tried this, and then bam, you're on Dark Side and everyone knows who you are and you're like completely different. So, I think it's really interesting that so many people came that same similar path.
Hmm. And Magoo was definitely like my first like big RP character. Like all my other ones, I didn't do like voices or anything for. Uh, they didn't have too heavy of a like characteristics or backstory or anything like.
Right. Uh what So, I mean, we know the people that Magoo stuck with, but what sort of characters do you like to RP with now that you're RPing? Like who do you want to surround yourself with, basically?
To be honest, my favorite person to RP with was Croc. Magoo and Croc's conversations were always fun to. I
Nice.
remember one time Magoo and Croc were sailing uh with the rest of the hooligans. Magoo and Croc were on Croc's ship, and they were all on the other ships. I think we were doing maps or something. Uh, but Croc was telling Magoo that Sush was gonna get, or that someone wanted to marry Sush or something, but or Chinnagus, one of the two. Uh, but she wasn't the same race as him. And so Croc was saying he wasn't sure if it would work out or anything like that. And Magoo being Magoo is like, so you're a racist? It was just some really it was just a really interesting conversation because Magoo takes everything so literally.
Yep.
And if Croc was saying that not being the same race was a problem for having one of his sons getting married, and he didn't approve of it.
I I never saw, I don't think, Magoo is antagonistic. You said you wanted him to be that way, but I mean, he seemed to be super helpful to me. Like he was always going and getting something or like bringing someone in. Um, do you think you balanced what your goal was with what you actually did, or did you go too nice, or any of that?
No, I definitely balanced it well. I thought he was super nice to the people that were nice to him, and actually, I shouldn't say that. He was super nice to the people he liked. And he was obnoxious and rude and antagonistic to the people that he did not like. Take Godiva, for instance. Magoo did not like Godiva from day one of meeting her. He thought she was annoying. And at one point uh she showed up on the Rum Runner Island, and she was running around with one of her crew members on their and Magoo came out of his house, and she's runs up to Magoo um, on the porch of his house, on the porch of the house, and she was asking him where Iris was. And Magoo's just they're like, "What are you doing over here? Get out of here!" She's like, "I'm looking for Iris." I'm like, and he's like, "Get out of here, you crazy lady!"
Do you think that people look down on Magoo because of his voice and the way he sounds? Like the way he was kind of dumb-ish or dumb adjacent, I guess.
I think some people did, and honestly, I don't mind or care because that's kind of how he was supposed to be.
Yeah. Huh. Uh that's interesting. I'm pretty sure you always helped me and everyone I had met. So it's interesting to hear that you were like trying to be, like you said, antagonistic to people that you didn't like.
Well,
Huh.
if you ever seen Magoo like interact with any of like the AR members or stuff like that, he would just straight up insult them half the time.
That's true. That's a good point. Speaking of that, you're on streams, or you were, or whatever you will be on streams a lot. Like Hellbound is always streaming. Um, Pretty much everyone is, or looking at Magoo, and Magoo runs past or whatever. Do you think that you had any sort of responsibility for those people and their streams? Did you like try and do anything more creative when you knew that people like that were around?
No, no, not at all. Honestly, when you're on such a big platform like Darkside is with how many streamers are streaming, you always have to like expect someone's streaming. But no, I never did anything different than what I normally did.
Gotcha. We talked earlier about the the clip where you're hanging outside and you're the ghost or whatever, and you just say goodbye or I love you or whatever and swing away. That was
Yeah,
genius, like so good. Um, so yeah, we talked about that earlier. And yes,
yeah.
I remember when Magoo called Boxer a ninja, but like I didn't think that was mean or anything. I was just like, this is what he sees. So what? That's fine. Sorry, I'm looking at chat
I
too.
think yeah, I think Magoo started calling you Mr. Ninja because at one point you like snuck up on him or something like that, and he like made that comment to you like, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I'm very sneaky," or something like that.
People
He's
often
like, "Oh, you're like
overlook
a
me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah." He's like, "Oh, you're like a," and it just kind
Yeah.
of sticks, and that's just kind of how it goes with Magoo. Is once he gives you the name or something like that, it's gonna stick.
So we
Like
talked. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like how Magoo is called Graves Captain Dinosaur is because the last uh, the last chapter, Graves was sailing the ship, and he was talking to us sitting on the crew on the ship, and he was saying something, and then Magoo asked him why he's not doing the crafting because he said something about he's a smart man, and he's like, oh, I'm not smart like that. He said I'm smart in other ways. He said he's a philosopher, and I don't know what the hell popped in my head, but Magoo, I just kind of went with him like, oh, like a dinosaur. And I think it honestly caught everyone by surprise because everyone just kind of stayed quiet for a second.
Right. That
And then someone's like, no, that's a velociraptor. And he's like, no, a philosopher, like the dinosaur. Kind of went with it.
you assigned a ton of people nicknames. Did you forget them? Did that help you remember people? or anything?
Honestly, the nicknames helped a lot because I'm terrible with names to begin with, and having people have nicknames helped a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I was trying to use nicknames and word associations myself with Boxster to forget people. Um, but often the things I remembered were the associations, not the real names or the fake names. So it's cool that you were doing it and it worked and stuff. And other people would use your nicknames too, so that was cool.
Yeah, I think at one point, like the entire hooligan crew started calling Graves Captain Dinosaur.
Right. Um so I guess I know more about you and your interactions on Discord than the other people sort of because I'm also in the hooligans chat. Do
Mhm.
you think interacting on Discord, interacting with people out of character changed either how they saw you or how you saw specific characters?
Uh, not really, to be honest. I think like the biggest thing is people freak out when they hear my voice compared to Magoo's voice for the first time.
Yeah. Uh it's a good voice. It's very disguising. You obviously watch streams. Um
Yeah.
is there anything that specific streamers are doing or that you've seen even not a dark side streamer do that you wish the rest of us would do? Or anything you like, I guess.
Not really. I just kind of pop open some streams and I lurk and chat or just lurk, watch a little bit here and
Right. My problem with streams is often that something happens in the game or whatever you're doing, and so you have to mute it, but it's still open. You have no idea what's happening. I feel like I always want to look and listen, but you just can't because you're doing something. But I don't know how a person would fix that. Yeah, I don't know. My thought.
then.
um, Speaking of that, are there any like big events that happened either last chapter at the end or this chapter that you wish you had like not necessarily been a part of, but like been near or heard about or any of that stuff?
So the biggest one would probably be the Navy at Ladies' Night because it would have been, I think, the week after or 2 weeks after Magoo, Alex, and Gregory had escaped from prison after the Sloopageddon,
Yeah.
and
Dang.
I was looking real forward to it because Magoo's very noticeable, so they would have noticed him there. Unfortunately, I had to work late that night. I
Hmm.
didn't make it in time. I think I literally hopped on after they had just started sailing out.
That would have been super interesting.
Yeah, because I know like Williams was there. Uh, a bunch of the I don't know if Webster was there, but I know Windy Bottom was. So they definitely would have recognized Magoo.
Do so speaking of ladies' night, that I think it was maybe the third or fourth one. You blew yourself up at ladies' night.
Yeah, I think that was like the second one actually.
Oh, okay. But
It's really on.
didn't you blow yourself up a lot? Like,
So I I blew shit up, but I never blew Magoo up.
oh,
And to be
okay.
honest, what I was doing there was I was gonna light it and I was going to try jumping
Mhm.
as it blew up to just kind of like launch myself, but not actually like blow myself up. Zoe actually pulled out a bow and arrow and shot, which caused it to blow up prematurely and and sent me flying. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, someone else uh, blew it up.
Mhm.
How am I going to go with this? So I was sitting there for a little bit as everyone's running around trying to find my body. And I'm
And
like, okay. I know what I'll go with. Luckily, I had a peg leg skin,
Perfect. That's what I
so
was getting to. Yeah. I
so I'm like, it's only fair that it something went awry. I can't just go like, oh, I blew up, but
right.
nothing really happened. Yeah, something's got to happen with that. There's got to be consequences to it. He was doing something stupid.
Agree. Thank you, by the way, for all the explosives for my birthday. It was hilarious. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I caught the we left before you blew it up, unfortunately,
Yep.
but we saw the fireworks going off from our island.
Yeah,
But
that's
I caught
super cool.
the yeah, I caught the clip of you blowing up the ship.
It didn't happen how I thought it would happen, but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
explosive barrels on ships are really janky.
yeah.
Sometimes they'll blow up and nothing happens. Sometimes they'll go spinning out of control.
um, yes. Gob is having thoughts about explosives too, because his just fizzled out, even though I thought it would explode. Um, so you, of all the people I've talked to so far, which isn't that many, but is also myself, you were in this large company for so long, and it just grew and grew and then like became famous and then split and then grew again. How do
Hmm.
you think that like large group RP differs from just being a solo and sailing around and looking for RP?
Honestly, I love having such a large because there's so many people to RP with, and you know that you're going to be able to get RP all the time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But since we haven't done it, we don't know a lot about it. Um, did you did you ever just want to like go somewhere and just be unable to because of so much that was happening in the giant company, or did you feel kind of free to still do what you wanted?
Uh, so I don't know about a lot of people in like our company, but Magoo could just do whatever the fuck he wanted. He had the luxury to do so. So like I would just go and hang out with Croc one day, or I would just go and sail off and do whatever I wanted. Uh, I'm not sure how a lot of the other members of the company uh, felt about it, but I didn't really. Magoo didn't care.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were thinking that, those large people, especially people who are important, like in your case, Graves and the like 3 or 4 crafters you went through, um, those people sort of have to stay and do the work and stuff. So that's really all I know about large companies, that there are specific people who have to do junk. But it's cool that
Yeah,
other people can just go.
I know when we were the hooligan, we really didn't have like a set structure or anything. We Anyone could just go and do whatever they wanted for the most part, unless like Graves or someone was trying to organize sailing out and doing something specific. You were free to do whatever. But uh, I know in the Rummigans, uh, we had a joke. Clayton, our crafter, uh, he actually got a tattoo of an anvil with a ball and chain on it, from going from his chest down his arm. That that River made for him
Mm.
because he felt like he was stuck in there 24/7.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what it looks like from outside too. So
Yeah, and I mean, some people like like the crafting RP and stuff like that. Like I know uh, Wiki who played Iris and Viper who played Clayton, for the most part, like doing the crafting.
yeah. I think it was always funny to see Alex like panic because he was out doing something
Oh,
crazy, but he also had all of his crafting gear with him or whatever.
well,
That
yeah. So that that's that's more of a Trippy trait than a
yeah,
Alex trait.
true. Good point.
Trippy is he's very neurotic when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex was always hyper ADD, and you had to basically point him in a direction, sit him down to get him to craft stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Um, do you do you think playing Magoo, because I am in your Discord,
Mhm.
do you think that's going to change how you play your next character, if you have a next character, or like, how do you think this has all changed what you're going to do?
So I'll put it this way: as an RPer, I have already peaked at Magoo. Everything is downhill from here on out.
Yeah, I know what that's
My
like.
yeah, no, next chapter, a lot of the Rummagans and some of the, like, the Sleepless and whatnot, are planning on doing, we're gonna be the Imperial Legion, privateer group
Hmm.
that, that's mainly there to,
I don't
keep pirates in check.
I don't know if that's out yet.
Well, it is now. No, a lot of people already knew,
Okay,
just no.
okay. I was like, I haven't seen anyone else say anything about that, but I mean, it's out now, so.
Rick Shuttle yell at me if
um, that's cool. So,
and so my next character I'm planning on doing, so our whole premise is we're loosely based off of, Rome and, like, the Roman Legion and whatnot, but it's, uh, our ancestors found a book on Rome and based
none
it off of the history from the book.
none of this stuff is definitely out
No, it's
yet.
not you heard it here first.
Heard it here first. Tune in whenever I get someone to interview.
So we're going off of, uh, a a Roman Republic based off of a book that our ancestors read about a Roman Republic. So um we got like nobility and stuff like that, but it's all kind of like fabricated and whatnot.
Yeah, I got you. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you can kind
So
of, like, if you don't like a certain aspect, you can be like, well, it's not in the book, it's different here, so we're doing this instead.
yeah, essentially.
That's cool. It's a
Yeah.
good idea.
So my character comes from my character I'm doing next season is gonna be from a one of the wealthiest families from the Imperial Republic, and so he was born into like nobility essentially, and so his father and his grandfather were both like senators for the Legion. So he was kind of like given his positions, and he didn't really like earn them. So that's essentially what I'm going with. Is he's gonna be a lot. He's gonna be like really like pompous and stuck up.
Dope. So,
Yeah.
like, the exact opposite, sort of. Well, not the exact opposite, but very different, at least, from you.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be like a whole different character. It's gonna be hard
Cool.
to transition.
Well, I mean, we got the break, so uh,
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna do the same thing as well. I think a lot of people are. We've played this. Now we're gonna try the complete different sort of thing.
Hmm.
Um, that's really cool. Is I keep asking these people, like, random people that I interview. Is there any, like, people that you met, or characters, I guess, whose stories you didn't get to know, or they weren't on streams, or you couldn't see them, or whatever, that you wish you knew more about them?
Uh, a lot of like the Knights of the Rifle stuff. I didn't know like anything about. Like I didn't know that they had become like a privateer group or anything like that until literally like the last week.
Hmm.
Like I knew that Mythocles and Luna were like the Knights of the Rifle, and that was about as far as I knew.
Yeah, those people are super interesting. Um, I'm glad I got to, like, log in every day and see what had happened. It was pretty cool. So yeah. Um, Mythocles has agreed to do one of these things, so I'm
Oh,
gonna
there we
ask
go.
him a ton of questions because those are very unique characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mythically's always cracked me up.
Yeah, I I am interested in what his real voice is for sure. What else? Any of you two people in chat? Just kidding. There's a bunch of you. But do y'all have any questions about Magoo and I guess the hooligans because he's deep in the hooligans. I thought I had another one up here somewhere. A summary of Magoo's story overall.
uh,
In yeah, because
let's
Gob never met you at all, so yeah.
uh, so Magoo came about not this last chapter, but the chapter before that. He sailed around for a little bit, then ended up joining up with Graves and Alice at the Crystal Trident slash Golden Sparrow. He got embroiled in the whole Graves Revenant Dawn drama. Uh, there was that going on. That was basically the whole last month of that chapter was Graves and the Revenant Dawn. Uh, we had actually they end up shooting our cook Lagaya at at the Rum Runners wedding, Antonio and Ice's that Graves was officiating.
Wow.
Yeah, and so Graves put a bounty out on one of their ships to be sunk. It was his former ship because he used to be a captain there. Uh, and then that news spread, and then there was a whole bunch of drama going on. And then we ended up sailing off after Antonio came storming into our port, uh, threatening all of us. So we sailed off. We were hiding out in the old Atlantean base. Went, and then we ended up going to uh, oh gosh, Cornucopia on the
Mhm.
last day, and that's when the storm hit.
Wait, you
And
went to Cornucopia the last day?
yep, we were there the last day. Cornucopia was gearing us all out to go fight Revenant Dawn, and that's when the storm hit. And as that was happening, Revenant Dawn was at our port, burning our entire port down.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. Or I saw a ship roll up, but I wasn't really Cornucopia. I was like super
Yeah,
new and I didn't know anything. But it must have been
you were, I believe, asleep when we were there because Graves went upstairs and he saw you sleeping on the ground, I think.
oh, okay. Um Interesting. I
Yeah.
when the server shut down, I was playing. I was actually making my video um that I have. So I definitely played at some point, but I know that Elizabeth was doing a delivery at the same time. So I don't know.
Yeah, she had just gotten back from the
Oh,
delivery,
okay.
and Declan was. We were fitting out the ship to sail off with Declan to go back.
Yeah. Well, I
What's it called?
I was
Yeah.
drowning at that point. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then after the storm, we were we decided to go with Alice's idea for the Frostborn Republic,
Mhm.
which it didn't work out. The Alice, Conflict Nerd, and Vice Phoenix, and all them. So Graves took his crew, and we split from that. And you guys, because you were a part of that as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I was trying to
And
figure out what happened on the other side of that.
it was a lot of bad managing from the top end. Like we felt like we were just kind of sitting on our hands the entire time, and
Mhm.
we had to like wait for instructions from them. Like we couldn't do anything on our own. But so we all decided to leave that. We all went over to A1.
Mhm.
We made the hooligans, and things picked up from there.
Yeah. Uh, God knows nothing. So, um, Magoo, bombs expert, um, apparently antagonistic, but really nice to people he liked. Um, and then the entire hooligans like story. Well, did y'all ever get involved with the Reavers? Because I know there was a lot of like hatred and like threats and stuff. But
Oh yeah, no. Oh, that was one of my other favorite things from the season, actually.
nice.
So Croc, so we had been hearing like all these stories about the Reavers that
Yep.
lived to the north. So Croc, one night was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go visit the Reavers, and do you want to come with?" So Magoo decided to go with them. So
Oh, that's
we
right. Yeah.
we hopped on Croc's bucket boat and we sailed up there. Uh, and so when we shot off some flares and we landed, uh, and Bonecaller was there, as well as Sven. And Croc introduced himself, and I introduced myself to them. And then Bonecaller was going on about the Reavers and stuff because Croc was asking about it.
Mhm.
Magoo is the whole time was just saying like, uh huh, uh huh. And Bonecaller was getting annoyed by
Yep.
it. So he started threatening Magoo, and Magoo got all lippy with him. And then Sven threatened to eat him.
Mhm.
And then their war party sailed back in at that time. So more of them showed up. And so Croc's sitting there like, oh gosh, this was a bad idea. I should have brought Magoo in.
Yeah, he was
Because I was,
worried.
yeah. So uh Croc was like, all right, we're just gonna get out. So we were getting on the ship, and then Magoo was mouthing off to Bonecaller, and I one of them ended up throwing a bullet, and
Mhm.
it caught me, so I was like stuck there, and the Sven was like getting all like up on top of me,
Mhm.
and I ended up breaking out of that, and I hopped on the ship, and Bonka was yelling at me, yelling at us to like stay off the island, that I was banned,
Mhm.
and so I started swinging around on Croc's sail as he started taking off, and I made like a passive remark to Croc that the Reavers were a bunch of bag of dicks.
Yeah.
And that pissed him off because they heard that. And so we started sailing off, and my grapple broke as we were sailing off, and I fell off the ship. so
Yep.
they so the Reavers started chasing after Magoo in the water, trying to grab him. I ended up getting back on the ship, and I was yelling, "Fuck you guys!"
Yeah, man. The Croc's side of that story is like so tense because he worried so hard about what was going to happen the whole time and stuff, like during the discussion and junk. And then once it all started exploding, everyone was talking about you and how you called the Reavers a bag of dicks. Like everyone. And made it out.
Well, Magoo was going around telling everyone that the Reavers were a bag of dicks.
Oh man, so good. Dang it.
He would tell anyone that listened that the Reavers were a bag of dicks and that they were mean and they threatened to eat them.
Mhm. Yeah, we had a discussion about that. I think we were just standing on the dock and Elizabeth was like, "Wait, what happened?" or something. But yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, it was funny until the very end too. Magoo always hated Sven because the Reavers ended up becoming friends with like the hooligans because they were friends with the Rummers and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And like Sarvok shared like some weird bond with Graves or something like that. He thought him like a little brother or something. I feel like he just felt like felt bad for him
Sure.
because they kept sinking our ships.
Yeah.
uh, but they ended up like becoming friends with all of us. So Magoo and Sarvok got along really well. But Sven was the only one out of all of them that Magoo hated. Well, and Bonecaller, but Bonecaller died, so Magoo didn't care anymore. But whenever he saw Sven, he would tell Sven to go fuck himself.
So, yeah, okay. Now that we go back over the stories, I will agree that he was kind of antagonistic. But that's not how I remember him. But you're right, yeah. Huh.
But nah, the guy that played Sven was a good sport about it. We just kind of kept the whole thing going. Where whenever we saw each other, he would threaten to eat me. I tell him to fuck you.
Uh a lot of hooligans do like mm, not like prep or anything, but like art and talk about the company and all of that stuff sort of outside of the game, just enjoying all the stuff that happened. Do you think that's worthwhile, and do you think that brought y'all together even more than just playing?
Oh, definitely. I think like all of us in the Remigans, we're all friends, and like we'll just sit in Discord and like bullshit. Well, we're just like I'll sit there when I'm bored at work and hop on Discord and chat with everyone. It's a really good time.
Do you think that pulls away from the larger dark side Discord community? How do you think your community, which is so important to you, fits into the larger one?
Uh, to be honest, I never really I don't really take part in like the like chatting on Dark Side Public and all that stuff.
Hmm.
I'll hop in like voice chat and chat with some of the people in there sometimes. And like I know the other day or like last week or something like that, we were playing I don't know what game it was. Some drawing game while the servers were down.
Scriblio?
Scriblio?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scriblio. Yeah. That was a good time.
Yep. Um, I've been back and forth on whether I think that, like, since every company has to have a Discord, or should or whatever, that needs an admin. I never had one. What the heck, cat? Sorry. All right, there's a cat attacking everything. Um, I've been back and forth on whether it's like a good sort of balance and a good thing because, for example, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, there's a secret whitelist Discord," but like, you're not really missing anything by it existing. It exists. So I don't think it really pulls away from the main community, but at the same time, it feels like there's stuff that other normal or not normal, but other people can't see. So I don't know.
I don't know. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of hilarious stuff that happens in Hooligan Discord. So,
Yeah.
um, Cornucopia never had a Discord,
Mhm.
so I just like if we needed to coordinate something, it would be like, "Hey, I get off of work at this time, and then I'll be on," that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
your Discord is so different and so it's very much like a community, even in the game. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know where I'm going
Well,
with this. I
the
just think it's cool.
yeah. Well, the Hooligan Discord is also Johnny's Twitch Discord for his stream.
Uh, that is true. I never looked at the title of it.
Because the Hooligans was what he called the Hellbound Hooligans is what he called his like Twitch community, and we kind of just pulled from that
I
when
see.
when we made the Hooligans.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did So, oh my. Um, did you find people that, and I know this is true, but I'm asking anyway. Did you find people that like wound up in the stream and were watching Johnny that then became like important members of Hooligans even though they had never played?
What do you mean?
Like in, for example, secrets in this Discord, hold on one second. I think it's that. Oh my god, I messed it up. I was trying to shout out. Anyway, uh in this Discord there's like different classifications, and one of them is for just watchers of Twitch, I guess. Did you think, or were there people who just watched originally that then came to the Hooligans later?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. Like Angie was one of those.
That's true. I knew that. You have a lot of unique sort of characters uh in the Hooligans.
Oh yeah, that was kind of our whole premise was that we were supposed to be like the odd group.
Did that ever cause any like friction or anything, or was everybody pretty chill?
Uh, no, it definitely caused some friction. Like, well, but you're gonna get that with any company. People that don't get along. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, myself and Angie never got along.
Hmm.
Like Magoo and Angie were like oil and water. I know. Let's see, who else was there? I don't know. There was a lot of people that like butted heads, but it's gonna happen with any
Yeah.
company.
Huh. It's interesting, like the view from inside versus the view outside. Pretty
Mhm.
cool. I ran out of questions like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. If anybody else has questions, shoot. Yeah, interviews, Alpheus. Um, Mostly I just wanted to talk to people who don't stream. Um, because there's a lot of stuff that happens that we don't know about, and specifically the people that like you talk to once or twice and you're like, wow, this person's really interesting. I have no idea what their whole story is. I thought that would be cool. Plus, I am pretty new to RP and stuff, and apparently a lot of people that I talk to are new. So if anybody has like thoughts about, how to get into RP deeper and that sort of thing, I think that would be cool. Did I happen to get Sarvok or someone from Lost Souls Reavers? Pretty sure Sarvok streams. Isn't that
Yeah,
uh
solution.
Solution? Yeah. So I mean, Sarvok's been telling their story the entire time. Or I mean, Solution has been telling the story of Sarvok. Yeah. Um, I talked to GobTube earlier, who is Osis, but I felt like that was a good second interview just because I didn't know enough about what he did when he wasn't on the island. Plus, he's really funny, so uh, I went with that. He also streams. I don't know who Cyber Siren is. I have a list. Hey, I have a list. Is there anyone that you think that I should interview that isn't on this list that I will read to you shortly once I pull it back up because I closed it? Atlantean. Gotcha. Um, Godiva and you, and then Mythocles, and then Bernard, and Elizabeth, and Osus, which I already did, and then Sigvalder, who is Val from Obsidian Dawn, Jackaroo, Dr. Wells, Skippy, who has agreed, Avo, Miratoro, Agnes, Latka, Hilda, and now Cyber Siren. Anybody you think might be interesting or super good at RP that we should talk to?
I'd probably have to say Rick Shot, who played Doc.
That is scary. Uh, the oh yeah, Pansy Two Flowers, Evangeline as well. Yeah, Priya, you said you were going to sleep and you're here. Two Flowers had this insanely brilliant idea. Um, and that's a good idea. Cornelius streamed his entire life, so probably not that one.
Oh, that was another great interaction was Magoo and Cornelius. So the first time Cornelius ever shows up,
Mm,
it was like the middle of the day, and I just hopped on, and I think I'd gotten like 2 hours of sleep maybe, so I was like dead tired, but so Graves and Cornelius are sitting up in the tavern, talking. Surprise, surprise.
uh-huh.
And I was standing there next to him, and I think I had walked off, and I walked up to like the second floor, but I was still like listening. But I went and grabbed something for a second,
Mhm.
and I came back, and I was just sitting there listening to him, and I started dozing off. I think I fell asleep for probably about an hour. Like I put my head down on my desk and fell asleep for about an hour, listening to them talk. Woke up, they were still talking for like another half an hour after that. So since then, Magoo had always like not hated, but didn't like Cornelius because
Yeah.
he was boring and put Magoo to sleep. So
The
he started calling him Snornelius from
right.
Snor.
The the funniest thing I think I saw you do was when Graves, I think, was talking at ladies' night or something, and you logged out completely and just went to sleep on him. It was so funny.
I did that at Fada and Raven's wedding
Oh
when
god.
Cornelius was giving his speech for them. He started talking, and probably about like a minute in, I logged off, sat there for probably about 10 minutes while he gave the speech, and then logged back.
Yes. That is
But
so funny.
but yeah, Magoo always tried to avoid Cornelius at all costs because whenever he saw him, he would be like, "Oh no, it's Snornelius! It's gonna put me to sleep." And then when he tried talking to me, I'd be like, "Shut up, Snornelius! I don't want to go to sleep."
Oh man. It's also good when the voice comes out too. It's so funny. Um Gaston. Oh my gosh. That's another good. Wait, does Gaston
Oh,
stream?
Gaston?
Yeah,
I don't believe so.
that's a good person too. And then
Yeah.
yeah, the devs, that's kind of scary. And Flutter's also kind of scary. I wasn't really intending to be like the thing everyone would come to and watch and all that stuff. I just wanted to like
Yep.
talk and
Too
learn.
late.
Yeah, and now people are showing up out of nowhere and I'm like, "Oh my god. We're looking at me. I'm freaking out." What a terrible time to think mullet is funny. Um yeah, that's true. You, for the record, Alpheus, you streamed like yesterday or the day before. So, I mean, but yeah, you're right. One time. Pro streamer, one time. All right. Yeah, you're already on the list, so yeah. Um I don't
Maybe
know.
you can get some juicy details on what's
Well,
coming
he
next
already
season.
said no sneak peeks. I also
Oh.
know that they're not allowed to discuss anything with any of us. So it's cool. The yeah, I don't know why we were talking Osus and I, and people just want to like be involved in it. You know what I mean? They just want to talk about Darkseid and
Mhm.
chill. It's crazy.
I mean,
Uh,
Darkside is a great community, to be honest.
yeah. So you mentioned a couple other communities, and obviously Hellbounds. Is there anything that like Darkseid's doing that you really like, or um, yeah, I don't know.
uh, Not so much that like I really like. It's just everyone that's on it that I really like.
Yeah. Um,
Like it's such a big community, and for the most part, everyone here is really welcoming and just here to have a good time, and that's what I like.
I think it's crazy that so many people are still coming. Like it seems like it's an established community, but every day there's new people in wave 4 or whatever saying, "Hey, when's the server coming up?" So it's really cool that it's like just more people are showing up all the time.
Mhm.
We are Awesome Blossom. Yes. There aren't a ton of Atlas communities, that's true, but I mean, Darkseid is an RP community, not an Atlas community. No? Um plus the other RP communities are all focused on another game or games. So yeah, Darkseid being an Atlas is like an Atlas community just because it's here.
Mhm.
How did you play Arc or any of the other like RPable games?
Uh, I played a bit of Ark. Like I think got like 100 hours on it, but that was just me and a buddy playing around on a private server, just the two of us playing PVE. But I never did like any RP on it or anything like that.
Gotcha. Uh are there any games you'd like to RP on? Like I guess I haven't asked anyone, but
To be honest, Atlas is really like the best thing I can think of for RP with how many people you can have uh, on the servers at a time, like the customization and all that kind of stuff. And I just love the setting as well.
yeah, for sure. I like all the
Yeah,
water.
yeah. Yeah. Like I
And
was playing on Katie's Purple RP server
mhm.
for DayZ for a little bit there, and it was fun. But like you would go probably about like 2 hours without seeing anyone sometimes because it's an 80-man server. So and it's such a big map.
Yeah,
Whereas here you can send like a grid over and find like 20 people just chilling,
true.
or you go to late
Well,
night, 100 people.
it depends, I guess, on when and how you play.
Yeah.
Gobtube couldn't find anyone in his last few days on the server, and I, in the previous chapter, spent a while looking for people as well. But like once you know where people are, you just hit those spots. They're always there. That's really cool. Or you're in a
Mhm.
community like you are, where they just are there all the time for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's definitely like the biggest thing is but being like in like such a big company, it isn't for like everyone, I know that. So, cuz like we've had a few people where like they've come in and they're like part of the company for a few days and they're like, "Hey man, this just isn't for me. I don't feel like I'm able to like do my RP properly here, or I'm not able to like I don't feel like I'm contributing how I want to in the company." So I'm wholeheartedly for being part of like large companies and stuff like that, but it ain't for everyone.
yeah, yeah. I think that's the like biggest thing that we've had to talk about in these things where I talk to people. Like the way you can play and the way you are playing is like so dependent on your RP, and then your RP is so dependent on how you're playing that like everyone is doing something different, it seems like.
Hmm.
Are you gonna play a crafter next time?
Oh,
You're
no, I'm most likely going to be captaining a ship next time, so that should be interesting.
nice. That will be
Yeah.
dope. Uh, did you find it difficult to not do things that you knew should be done? Like when you weren't the captain of a ship, but you thought, oh, this needs to be filled or repaired or whatever, but it wasn't like your responsibility?
Well, by by the end, we literally had no bosuns, so I was bosuning on almost every ship I was on, but it worked out because uh, Aiden used to be like the bosun for the hooligans, and he had actually taught Magoo how to bosun, so he put hit that those skills to work.
That's pretty perfect.
Um, yeah, but I know I've like if you're sailing with Graves, there's stuff that's going to be going wrong when he's sailing. I can't count on one hand how many ships he's sunk.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
uh, but I have found that to be difficult. My character doesn't know how to lead or how to do this stuff. He shouldn't be, commanding, but there's clearly an issue. So how do you, rectify that? Uh, most of the times I just let it happen because I wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah, that's what I usually did too, is I just let everything happen.
Just let it all go. um, cool. I still don't have anything else. I guess I'm running out of steam. Can you believe it's been over an hour already?
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah, hour and 15.
Well, it's a good way to fill time. I was just sitting down, bored out of my mind, watching river monsters.
Nice. Cool. I have more of these lined up, not tonight that I'm aware of. People, thanks for being here and stuff. Uh, yeah, if you don't have anything else, then I don't have anything else.
I don't know if you talked with Osis about it because I only hopped in here for a second
Mhm.
while you were interviewing him. What is your plans for next season?
Oh, my I did. My my plan is Maddie, and that's it. But for if there's a server in between or some sort of like mid season or something like that, um, there was a joke about like a gay sort of restaurant that I did with Mythicles and Jeffrey, mostly because he was Mythicles was sad at the end of the season, so I was trying to make him laugh and stuff, and it just worked out. So we did this like gay uh, thing, this gay restaurant thing. Should probably put the word restaurant in there. Um, and then it just became like so funny and so like I guess doable that I would love to have just like I can do it by myself, have this small restaurant. Um, Anybody who shows up, just give them some sort of crazy, wild, experience, and then they leave. And that way, I'm not super invested in a character, but at the same time, like it's a unique experience that I don't think people are seeing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I will do in
Oh,
the
speaking of
meantime. Yeah.
that, someone you should interview, the guy that played Goldie, the goblin.
Oh man, that there's no interview there. We could just let Goldie talk and sing and speak for an hour. That would be dope.
I
That's a good idea.
I only got yeah, I only got to interact with him once when we went over to their island over in A1,
Hmm.
And me, Magoo, and River kept saying how we wanted to keep that we wanted to like go back in with Croc and talk with them some more. Uh, we did end up going over to like Lucky Lagoon one time, but they weren't around. But yeah, that's someone that I had a lot of fun RPing with.
That is true. Even people who only spoke to him once, like remember everything that happened. So yeah, that's a good recommendation. Does anyone know that person's player? You could throw that in chat or into DMs or something. Um, if you don't know who that is, he was like sort of extreme and like out there, but he put in so much work to his like performances and stuff, and he rewrote songs um with like sort of Atlas themes and Dark Side themes and stuff. So like full on songs and then performed them legitimately. Like he's crazy. Keeble, Keeble's a good idea. Um, but I'm pretty sure Keeble was Biscuit the second time. But that is a good idea too. Uh, I've known Keeble for a long time. I thought you were recommending Fist of the Walrus, and I was like, no, no, it's not gonna. He's got his own thing. He was Keeble this season. Okay. Huh. Yeah. Cool. If anyone can find that player, you know what? I might be able to just look it up. I didn't actually even try. No, I don't see anything that looks close. Searching for people in Discord is so difficult sometimes. Oh well, okay. Skippy sent it to me, so I got it. Oh, and
Oh,
I
perfect.
already have I already have two flower because yeah, he mentioned this idea that he had once in general, and I was like, there's no way that's ever gonna work. And then surprisingly, Jeffrey from Knights of the Rifle said his exact name and said that it worked, and I was like, no way, it freaking works. So then I messaged him afterwards and I was like, it works, oh my gosh. So yeah, uh that's cool. The Blunderbuss song is a song by Goldie that he rewrote. I can't remember what the actual song is, but yeah, cool, good ideas everyone. Also, shout out to Bradley from the beginning of the stream. Oh, that was so funny. Um,
You gotta about playing Apex, man.
yeah, apparently, I'm gonna be playing Apex or something tomorrow. So, all right, guys. No dark side tomorrow. Um, no, I'll try to get try to get more people. Darla is too scary. I don't think I could handle that. Um, I think I think that Darla is like I would put Darla on the level of like upper people in the Navy, like Firebane and them. Even if she doesn't stream, like I just consider them so high up that you can't even. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. She's scary, but I guess I'll ask. Sure. Be DMing all these random people like, "Hey, no." Yes. I My point is that some people seem approachable and some people don't. I'm not gonna approach anybody who's like super established, super high up, super whatever, because um, I don't think that this is like legit enough. You know what I mean? Like, I just cut out some Shutterstock and put the atlas behind it, you know, and then it's me with a green
That's
screen.
great.
So anyway, I have taken your suggestions, even though they are scary. Alpheus, I put you on the list. You're scary, yes. Which doesn't mean you're not scary, Lamp, by the way. And Gob, you're both scary, but I felt like we were friends enough and we had spoken enough that it was fine. You know what I mean? Okay, wait, wait. I'm just gonna end. Oh my god. This is getting out of control. Yeah, Floof would be dope actually. I named a rabbit after Floof, so yeah. There's no viewer control. I already have the people I'm gonna raid thing up. Brutus is still streaming, but now there are 2 other people, specifically Whimsic, who is sleepless, or was. I don't know how to even address people in the past, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Benji.
Benji is a good one. Benji is also scary. Everyone knows who that is. But I am
Yeah, he
writing
played
it
Windy Bottom.
down.
Magoo and Windy Bottom had such a great interaction when he was in jail and at Godiva's wedding.
Were you antagonistic?
Oh yeah, no, Magoo was ordering Windy Bottom around in the jail.
That's awesome.
Yeah. While I was in jail, I basically got them to do whatever I wanted them to. I got them to like open up the crafting room so I can go make an accordion and drums. So we got a prison band going.
That's dope. This is my emotional support animal. Her name is Heart. Surprisingly, not surprisingly. There's also a dog behind me who wants to mess with her. I actually almost met Benji. Elizabeth and I went to the Freeport, and we walk up on this guy in like full tribal gear, like super tall, skinny, shaved white guy, full tribal gear, and we were like, the heck is happening? And so we get up close to him, and he's like, you know, in his accent, and he just said like, oh, you know, I'm just here to buy some stuff. And he like turned back to the thing, and we both like name plated him, and I was like, I'm leaving. I don't know what's happening, but I don't know why he's here. I don't know why he's not in the Navy. I have no idea. But he didn't say who he was, and we didn't say who we were, and then we left. So I don't know what happened, but that was crazy. Okay, I'm gonna take my dog outside. Thank you all for being here. We're going to raid Whimsic, who is a former sleepless, current, I don't know, sleepless. I don't know if you lose your classification. Yeah. Also, friend to
Hi everybody.
Yeah, if you just want to talk in your voice, that's fine too. All right, bye everyone.